Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's practice is a bedtime kind of flow. So it's not particularly maybe a flow in the traditional sense. There's no down dog, there's no vinyasas, because I don't really think that's what we need necessarily before we go right to bed. So this is just a really nice kind of sequence or series of postures to really lengthen the body, get a little bit more space, and prepare us for a good night's sleep. Kind of during the day, we're moving, maybe you're sitting quite a lot during your day. Things can be quite closed, maybe a little bit hunchy and kind of tight. So really this just helps to kind of open the body, find space, and just really gentle, really easy movements. This is all levels, beginners, more advanced practitioners. Anyone can do this really at any time. If you want to do this when you wake up, cool. If you want to do this during the day, also great. Bedtime, piece of cake. So let's get started. So coming into a wide knee child's pose, so you can bring your big toes a touch. Knees are about mat distance or maybe a little bit narrower. And we're just going to move through cat and cow like this, really taking our time. So as you inhale, belly drops down, draw the chest forward, head follows along as the tailbone lifts. And then exhale, bring your chin to your chest, rounding into the spine, give the tailbone a little tuck. So just using your own breath, finding that rhythm between the two. So we're really taking our time here, bringing a little bit more focus into our breath. And we're just stretching, lengthening, and compressing the front and back parts of our body. So if you sit quite a lot, this can feel really nice along the spine. So it's really nice to take your time and really breathe into the movements. So as long as your breath is, make your movements just as long here. Do one more full inhale. One more full exhale. And then from here, with the knees wide, bring the hips back towards the heels, come into a child's pose. As you sink your hips back, walk your hands forward towards the top of your mat. So bring the forehead to rest. If the forehead doesn't come down, you can grab your block, place it on top. It just gives the hips a little bit more space. So completely up to you, wherever you are. And letting your breath move into the back part of your body. So every inhale starts from the tailbone, working its way up the spine and through the back part of the rib cage and between the shoulder blades. And every exhale, starting from the belly, pressing the air from the lowest part of the stomach, the lowest part of the low back, out along the spine, through the rib cage and between the shoulder blades. And then from here, walk the hands over to the right side of your mat. They might come off your mat, that's okay. And then you're going to bring your left hand on top of your right. Make sure your hips stay the same, and then bring your forehead down to the mat. So breathing here. So you're lengthening out through the left side of your body. Breathing wherever you are. One more big breath. And then look up towards the hands. Walk them back through center. And then over to the left. So left hand walks as far over as it feels comfortable. Stack the right hand on top. And then bring the forehead down to the mat. Again, if it doesn't touch, grab your block. You've done the same for the other side as well. Finding that same length. This time working through the right side of your body. Making sure your right hip is still drawing back towards that right heel. Look forward towards the hands. Walk the hands forward. And then coming forward back into that tabletop. So from here, again, find your wide knees and then sink the hips back onto the heels. So we've kind of worked our spine with that flexion, extension, and cat and cow. We've kind of worked side to side as well in our child's pose. We'll work a little bit more of that side to side. So just facing forward, facing the side of your mat if you want, wherever is more comfortable. Doesn't really matter. So again, sitting onto our heels. If this is uncomfortable for your hips or your knees, you can grab your block or your pillow or cushion and just sit it in between your heels and your hips. It just gives you a little bit more space, especially in the knee. So from here, right fingertips come onto a tent. Reach up with that left arm as high as you can. Take a big breath in. Keep that space through the left side. And then as you exhale, start to bend that right elbow in towards the right hip and then reach up and over with that left arm. So you're still kind of maintaining length through the right side of your body as you find a little bit more on the left. If this feels comfortable, make sure the shoulder isn't down. You're not collapsing into the right side of your rib cage. You want to spiral that left shoulder open, maybe even look under that left armpit up towards the ceiling. And then come back up to center. Come to the other side. So left fingertips down towards the mat. Big breath in, reach up with the right fingertips, get length first. And then as you exhale, start to little bend into that left elbow, bring the elbow into the left hip, and then reach up and over with those right fingertips. So again, same thing as the other side. Keep that length through the left side of the body. Make sure your shoulders are down. You're not collapsing into your left side. You want to spiral that right shoulder open. Again, maybe if it's comfortable for you, look over towards the right, past that armpit, maybe up towards the ceiling. So you're again breathing deep into that right side of the body. Wonderful. Come back to center. Bring the hands onto the tops of the thighs if that feels comfortable, maybe towards the knees. You just want to relax the shoulders. Make sure they're not kind of scrunching down. You want to stack the shoulders over top of the ribs, over top of the hips. The rib cage might come out. Just kind of think of knitting that rib cage in towards the middle part of your body. So softening through the shoulders, lifting up through the crown of the head, maybe close the eyes. Let's do a few neck rolls. So first bring the chin down towards the chest, and then start to roll that right ear over towards the right shoulder. Come back to center, chin towards the chest, and then roll the left ear over towards the left shoulder. So we're just doing kind of a half circle first, so you can just kind of fluidly move from the right side to the left in your own time. So really take your time here. If you feel any spots in your neck that feel maybe a little bit sharp or kind of tingy, I know those are weird words, but you kind of know that sensation when you feel it, then maybe stay there for a second and then breathe into that space. Those are just little spots in your neck that could use a little bit more love. And then over towards the left side, we're going to move the circles kind of 360. So when you're moving your head back, really be mindful of how you're moving your neck. So you don't want to fling your head back. Again, moving in that range of motion that feels comfortable for you. Once you've done a few in one direction, switch that 360 circle into the other direction. So the whole time we're doing this, we're breathing deeply into our belly. Relax your shoulders. Keep that nice tall spine. So you're really only moving your neck. You're not moving your shoulders. You're not moving your hips. Just the neck. Beautiful. And then come back to center. Take an inhale. Reach the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, palms might touch, and then bring the hands through to the heart. Do that a few more times. Inhale, reach the arms up. Eyes can be closed here if you want, if that feels nice. Exhale, hands through heart. 2 more like that. Inhale, reach up. Nice big circle on the way up. Exhale, down. 1 more. Inhale, reach up. Stay here, and then as you exhale, we're going to find a little twist to the right. So left hand comes to the right knee, and then right fingertips gently come behind you, come onto the tips of the fingers. So take a breath here, again, long with the spine, shoulders over the hips. If the ribs come out, again, just kind of tuck them back in towards the midline. Maybe look over towards the right, or look past that right shoulder behind you. Next, inhale, arms come up, palms touch, back to center. Exhale over to the left. Right hand comes onto that left knee. Left fingertips gently behind you. So again, nice tall spine. And then twist a little bit more. Maybe just looking over towards the left. Or if it feels comfortable for the neck, look past that left shoulder towards the back. Beautiful. Come back to center. And then from here, if you're facing to the side, We're going to come back towards the center of our mat. Extend your left leg long, kind of more towards the outer left part of your mat. Bring the sole of that right foot in towards that left inner thigh. So if that right hip is up a little bit, you can use your block, even your pillow, just to give it a little bit of support, depending on where you are. Move the flesh out from under the sits bones, just so you have a really good grounding. And then on your next inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Think of grounding into your sit bones. And then from there, find length through the spine, out through the tips of the fingers. Square your chest just that tiny little bit over towards that left leg. Flex the left foot. And then reaching forward with that long spine. Bring the hands down. So you might stay exactly where you are. Hands can be on your mat. Maybe they're kind of slightly off. Or you can grab hold of that left leg. So maybe you have towards the knee, maybe you have the calf, maybe you have that left foot, wherever you are, however kind of open that left hamstring feels. We don't want to push it too much, just want to get a nice little opening through that back part of the leg. So instead of trying to bring your head down towards that left knee, try and bring your chest down. So staying nice and long with the spine. Take a few breaths here. Keep that left foot flexed just to get a little bit of extra length through that back of the left leg. And then come back up. So right hand comes pretty generously behind you, just behind that right hip. And then on your next inhale, we're going to sweep that left arm around the body. Come on, lift the hips, come onto that right knee, top of the right foot, and then really ground into the full sole of that left foot. Little baby back bend. Just to kind of counter that forward fold. And then come back to center. So we're just going to switch to the other side. Right leg comes out to the side. Bring that left foot in towards the hip. So again, support that left knee if you need it, if it's quite high up. If you feel like it's supported without it, if it's touching or just kind of off, then you can keep it that way. It's up to you. So again, move the flesh out from underneath the sit bones. Get that good grounding in through that base. And then on your next inhale, reach up through the arms. Again, think of that base of the sit bones. Lengthen up through the spine, out through the tips of the fingers. Flex that right foot. Square the chest just that tiny bit over towards the right leg. And then with that long spine, reach forward. And then hands come down. So again, doesn't matter how far you fold, you just want to keep the chest drawing down towards that right knee. Keep the right foot flexed, just to get that extra bit of length through that back right leg. Again, grabbing hold, knee, shin, ankle, foot. Breathing deep in through the back part of the body. And then when you're ready, coming back up. Bring that left hand pretty generously behind you. And then on that next inhale, sweep that right arm, lifting through the hips, come onto the left knee, top of the foot, and then grounding into the full sole of that right foot. Again, tiny baby back bend, just to counter that forward fold. When you're ready, come back down. Legs come forward. And we're going to bend the knees here. So if you feel comfortable with your legs straight, you can stay here. At the end of the day, I find my legs are quite tight, so I like to take a little bend into my knees, flex the feet. You're still going to get a stretch through the hamstrings. Again, move that flesh out from under the sit bones. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, reaching forward. So again, this will really help you bring the chest down towards the thighs, towards the knees first. Grab hold, and then maybe just kind of one ankle at a time, straighten the legs. So even with this bend into the knees, I can still feel a stretch through the back of my hamstrings. If you're quite open, straighten the legs, bring the chest down. But I find that when people straighten and they have quite tight hamstrings, they round their spine quite a bit. This just helps you a little bit. And again, you can bring your pillow or your cushion underneath your knees if you want that support. Otherwise, just keep them that tiny little bend, flex the feet, and then draw the chest down. Again, breathing here. Find that length through the backside. Wonderful. And then making your way back up. From here, we'll bend the knees, scooch the hips forward towards the heels, just a tiny bit, reach the arms forward, and then as you ground into the feet as slow as you can, come all the way down to the mat. You can grab hold of the backs of the thighs, and then once you're down, take the knees into the chest. So bring the hands around the shins, maybe the hands or the arms come around, take a few little rocks, side to side, just kind of massage out the lower part of the spine into the rib cage a little bit. And then from here, lift the head, neck, and shoulders. So you're bringing the knees back towards the shoulders, and then you're going to bring the forehead or the nose up to meet the knees. So curling yourself in a tiny little ball, maybe point your toes. Ooh, and then open yourself up. Keep the right knee in, extend the left leg long. So flex that left foot. Bring the left hand on top of the left hip just to keep it nice and grounded. And then with that right hand, flex the right foot. Just going to move nice circles with that right knee. So if we're sitting down quite a bit, it'll feel really nice after a long day. Moving in the opposite direction once you've done a few. Wonderful. Bring that right knee back to center. So you're going to draw that right knee in towards the chest first. And then grounding into that right hand, or left hand rather, into that left hip to keep it grounded. Open that right knee to the side. So you're finding a little bit of an external rotation into that right leg, into that right hip. So you can stay here. If you feel like you're a little bit more open, maybe start to straighten the leg a little bit. You can always switch your grip to the underside of that right calf. If you're a little bit more open than that, you can always reach up. So you're going to grab the pinky toe edge of that right foot. You're going to keep it open, and you're going to straighten the leg. So either option is fine. You can keep the knee bent, maybe you straighten. You just want to make sure that your left hip isn't rolling off the mat. So if the leg is straight, you'll feel a nice stretch through the inner part of that right leg. Maybe the knee's bent. And then from here, bring the knee back up to center, and we're going to find a twist. So I like to take a little bend into my left knee first, move my hips over to the right, straighten the leg, and then bring that right knee over to the left with that left hand. Right arm reaches out to the side. So again, you can keep the knee bent, or left hand's going to grab the pinky toe edge of that right foot, and you're going to straighten the leg again. Your choice. Either one's fine. Close the eyes. Take a few more breaths here. Not in any rush. We'll come back to center, take a little bend into that left knee, scooch the hips back, and then switch the legs. So bring the left knee in towards the chest, straighten that right leg, so both feet are flexed. So right hand grounds into that right hip so it doesn't move until we kind of do that twist. And then start off with those circles with the left hip. So moving into whatever range of motion feels comfortable here, switching sides, switch directions. And then once you've done a few both ways, bring the left knee back to center, draw it in towards the chest, and then trying to keep it as tight, as close as you can. Open that left knee. Open that left leg. So it doesn't have to open, it doesn't have to be touching the ground. It can be hovering, that's okay. Maybe that left elbow can kind of rest. You're not pulling anything. Again, you're just working into that range of motion that the body already has. So you can stay here, maybe you straighten the leg a little bit just by grabbing hold of the back of that right or left calf. If you want to go a little further, lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Reach that left hand so it grabs hold of the pinky toe edge of the foot, and then straighten the leg. Again, making sure that whatever option you choose, that right hip stays grounded, the right shoulder is grounded. So you kind of have equal weight to both sides of the body. And for wherever you are, keep that foot flexed. And then bring the left leg back to center. So the hands are going to switch. So first start off, bend the right knee, move the hips a few inches over towards the left side. Straighten the right leg, and then guide that left knee across the body over to the right. So left arm comes out just as that little counterbalance. Keep the left foot flexed. Shoulders are grounded, and then stay here. Or if you want to straighten that left leg, right hand reaches to grab the pinky toe edge of that left foot. And then we straighten the left leg. One side might feel a little bit better than the other. Might have more space. Again, that left knee can be hovering, it doesn't have to touch. If you want, you can give a little support with that right hand underneath. And then when you're ready, come back to center. Bend the right knee. Bring the hips back. Reaching the arms up overhead, nice and long. And then reaching the legs nice and long as well. So from here, you're going to grab your opposite elbows. We're going to find the kind of banana pose. So really nice kind of final last pose before we come into our rest, or we kind of make our way into bed. So from here, your hips stay exactly where they are the whole time. We're going to start off by moving our upper bodies first. So we're going to kind of scooch a few times our upper body over towards the left side of our mat. So as far over as feels comfortable. So you might be a little bit off your mat here, that's okay. And then move your left leg over to the left. Move your right leg over to meet it. So when you move one side of your body first, you might feel that your bottom half or your top half, whichever one you moved first, kind of depends, might feel like it doesn't quite have a lot of range of movement. So just kind of be careful not to move too far with either the top or bottom half so that you can't move the other half as much. So I like to kind of cross my toes or cross my feet. And you should feel a tiny little compression through that left side. You still have space, you still have length, but you're really lengthening through that right side of the body. So all the way, almost from that armpit up through to the elbow, find that length through the hips, and then working into the right outer part of the leg as well. So you want to make sure, again, both shoulders are grounded. And just closing the eyes. Really feel that kind of expansion through the right rib cage. Should feel really, really nice as you breathe in. Beautiful. And then bring the upper body back to center first, and then bring the legs. And then we'll just come to the other side. Just gonna scooch the upper body over towards the right, and then move that right leg over, and then move the left. Again, you might need to kind of adjust yourself once you're there. I like to cross my feet again. It just kind of keeps my legs a little bit more together. And then feeling that same space coming through the left side of the body, all the way from kind of that left armpit space up through the elbow, through the left side of the rib cage, into the hips, and then out through the outer part of that left leg. So noticing maybe how much more expansive that left lung feels on every inhale. So you can't really inhale more air into one side than the other, but it might feel a little bit more open, just that sensation. Wonderful. Take one more big breath. And then when you're ready, come back to center. Bring the legs back. And then from here, just opening up. Coming towards Shavasana. So we'll take a final little rest here. So just kind of, not too just to kind of soak up all the kind of postures, all that space, all that length that we created through our practice. So a lot of times people kind of skip Shavasana, they kind of hurry out of it. But it really is one of the best postures, especially at the end of your practice. It really gives you a chance to take in the physical, the mental, emotional, even the kind of energetic part of your practice that you created through your movement, through your breath. So letting yourself take as much time here as you want, as you need, before you maybe get into bed. Feeling that space, that length that you created through your practice in your body. Notice how much longer parts of the body feel, how much more space you feel you have for your joints and your bones, how that length kind of moves into the muscles, and that length moves into the breath as well. I hope you enjoyed the practice. Wherever you are, hope you enjoyed your day, your week, your weekend. See you again soon.